Hello, welcome to the Southern Bible Thumper channel. For this upload, we are going to be reading 2 Samuel 21. Then there was a famine in the days of David 3 years, year after year, and David inquired of the Lord. And the Lord answered, It is for Saul and for his bloody house, because he slew the Gibeonites. And the king called the Gibeonites and said unto them, Now the Gibeonites were not of the children of Israel, but of the remnant of the Amorites. And the children of Israel had sworn unto them, and Saul sought to slay them in his zeal to the children of Israel and Judah. Wherefore David said unto the Gibeonites, What shall I do for you? And wherewith shall I make the atonement, that ye may bless the inheritance of the Lord? And the Gibeonites said unto him, We will have no silver nor gold of Saul nor of his house, neither for us shalt thou kill any man in Israel. And he said, What ye shall say, that will I do for you. And they answered the king, The man that consumed us, and that devised against us that we should be destroyed from remaining in any of the coasts of Israel, let 7 men of his sons be delivered unto us, and we will hang them up unto the Lord in Gibeah of Saul, whom the Lord did choose. And the king said, I will give them. But the king spared Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, because of the Lord's oath that was between them, between David and Jonathan, the son of Saul. But the king took the 2 sons of Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, whom she bare unto Saul, Armani and Mephibosheth, and the 5 sons of Michal, the daughter of Saul, whom she brought up for Adriel, the son of Barzillai, the Mahalathite. And he delivered them into the hands of the Gibeonites, and they hanged them in the hill before the Lord, and they fell all 7 together, and were put to death in the days of harvest, in the first days, in the beginning of barley harvest. And Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, took sackcloth, and spread it for her upon the rock from the beginning of harvest until water dropped upon them out of heaven, and suffered neither the birds of the air to rest on them by day, nor the beasts of the field by night. And it was told David what Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, the concubine of Saul, had done. And David went and took the bones of Saul and the bones of Jonathan his son from the men of Jabesh Gilead, which had stolen them from the street of Bethshan, where the Philistines had hanged them when the Philistines had slain Saul in Gilboa. And he brought up from thence the bones of Saul and the bones of Jonathan his son, and they gathered the bones of them that were hanged. And the bones of Saul and Jonathan his son buried they in the country of Benjamin and Zelah in the sepulchre of Kish his father, and they performed all that the king commanded. And after that God was entreated for the land. Moreover, the Philistines had yet war again with Israel, and David went down, and his servants with them, and fought against the Philistines, and David waxed faint. And Ishbosheth, which was of the sons of the giant, the weight of whose spear weighed 300 shekels of brass in weight, he, being girded with the new sword, thought to have slain David. But Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, succored him, and smote the Philistine, and killed him. Then the men of David swore unto him, saying, Thou shalt go no more out with us to battle, that thou quench not the light of Israel. And it came to pass after this, that there was again a battle with the Philistines at Gob. Then Sibechi the Hushathite slew Saph, which was of the sons of the giant. And there was again a battle in Gob with the Philistines, where Elhanan, the son of Jerogeam, a Bethlehemite, slew the brother of Goliath the Gittite, the staff of whose spear was like a weaver's beam. And there was yet a battle in Gath, where a man of great stature, that had on every hand 6 fingers, and on every foot 6 toes, 24 in number, and he also was born to the giant. And when he defied Israel, Jonathan, the son of Shimea, the brother of David, slew him. These 4 were born to the giant in Gath, and fell by the hand of David and by the hand of his servants. In the previous chapter, 2 Samuel 20, a man, Sheba, influences a lot of Israel against David. This is the second time a rival has gained influence in David's kingdom. Joab, David's army captain, has Sheba killed. David locks his concubines away for the rest of their lives. In the current chapter, 2 Samuel 21, Israel experiences a 3-year famine as the result of Saul breaching the oath of peace between Israel and the Gibeonites. This was established in Joshua chapter 9. Everyone agrees that a sufficient offering would be to sacrifice 7 of Saul's male descendants. 4 Philistine relatives of giants are defeated by Israel. Summarizing 2 Samuel chapter 21, in verses 1 and 2, we learn that David's kingdom is experiencing a 3-year famine. When David asks God why, God says it's because Saul violated Israel's oath with the Gibeonites and tried to annihilate them. So we learn in verse 2 that the Gibeonites are the descendants of Amorites. Saul tried to have their lives taken. I don't remember this incident, so I Googled it, and it says the event was not recorded. 2 Samuel 21 is the only chapter that mentions it. We'll see as we go along. When we look at the lineage, the 2 Samuel 21, it tells us that these people come from the Amorites. When we look at who the Amorites are in Genesis chapter 10, verse 15, we see that the Amorites are descendants of Canaan. When we talk about the peace treaty, Joshua chapter 9, the entire book of Joshua is land acquisition for Israel once they enter Canaan. So when we get to verse 15, the Gibeonites are a group of people who were living nearby where Israel was settling. And Israel was developing a name for themselves of being fierce warriors. So instead of having to meet with them on uh, that type of energy, the Gibeonites decided to dress down in clothes that made them seem very impoverished, and they asked Joshua for a peace treaty, which he gave them. So after Joshua chapter 9, Israel and the Gibeonites have a agreement of peace. So to realize that while Saul was living, he tried to violate this. Um, the other thing that I wanted to point out here was this is this was a sin that affected the land. So now the land wasn't producing food for 3 years because of something that was done on the land. Also, this affected someone else that's not even here anymore. Saul is gone. So he was gone in the end of First Samuel. So something that he did before his death is now something that is affecting people who are alive for 3 years. In verse 3, David asked these people who are remaining, the Gibeonites, "What can I do for you? How can we make atonement?" And the Gibeonites say, "Give us 7 of his male descendants so that we can make a sacrifice with them." Now, this immediately made me think of 2 Samuel chapter 9 because David asks, like, is there anyone remaining from Saul's family? So, because here the king says, I will hand 7 of Saul's descendants over, then what was this in 2 Samuel 9 when the only person you could find related to Saul was Mephibosheth, Saul's grandson? The other, so verse 7 and 8, David spared Mephibosheth. So this is the Mephibosheth that is mentioned here in 2 Samuel 9. Okay. This is not the one. There is a second Mephibosheth who were sons to a woman named Aiah. So they took 2 of Aiah's sons and 5 of Merab's sons. There is just something that I want to point out. I don't want to call things discrepancies. I just want to get better about trying to expose things, like, because to me exposing is just so lame. Like, if you can correct it, if you know what someone's trying to say, just don't be the person that has the, "Oh, see, you made a mistake and I caught your mistake." Like, there were just some things about my personality that I was trying to seek God for clarity on that I just could not in my brain understand. Why am I not getting the result in this area that I want? And I honestly believe God gave me the answer. There was one situation in particular where he told me, "Your anger was so loud, you couldn't even hear me when I was telling you this when it happened." Back to this. So David, after finding out that the way Saul treated these people is what's causing the famine, David says, "Okay, I'll give you the 7 descendants of Saul that you asked for." And when we get to verse 8, this is detailing what people he took. So Saul had 2 other sons. Those sons were taken. And it's a different Mephibosheth, not the Mephibosheth in chapter 9. Then we have the 5 sons of Michal, the daughter of Saul. That's what it says here in the King James. That's what I and the New King James. Useless. I always think the New King James is a useless translation. Useless. Okay, but when we look at the New Living Translation, Marab, okay? The reason why this is important, because at the end of 2 Samuel chapter 6, this is when David danced until he was exposed, and Michal, Saul's daughter, was ashamed and confronted him about it. And after this, it says she had no child to the day of her death. So for her to now have 5 sons, maybe in the King James Version, that she's giving up for the sacrifice, just why weren't these descendants the one who was chosen when David was looking for somebody to give something to? Also, I just want to show this again. When we look at 2 Samuel chapter 6, verse 23, Michal, the daughter of Saul, had no children. So we look at here, verse 21, chapter 21, verse 8. The 5 sons of Michal, the daughter of Saul. Now there is some more language around it saying she brought up for Adriel, but because brought up is not the same as bear. It could have been adopted, but it's just that connection wasn't the connection that David was looking for when he was seeking someone to share his wealth with. But when it comes to this sacrifice, these people are good enough. Okay. So they were executed the beginning of the barley harvest in verse 9. Then we're going to get 10 to 14. So Aiah's daughter, Rizpah, the one who had the 2 sons taken from her, because her sons were with Saul, she took sackcloth, and sackcloth is a symbol of mourning, repentance. So she kept the animals away from it, and this is a sign of mourning. When David found out what this woman was doing, he took the bones of Saul and his son Jonathan. They buried he buried their bones back with Saul's father, Kish. It says, after this, God was receptive to prayer for the land. Verses 15 to 22 details several more incidents with men that were sizable. And the reason why I say they were sizable is because it doesn't call them giants, but it just keeps saying that they came from giants. And it talks about how much what they used wore. The bronze spear weighed 8 pounds. There was the last man in verse 20. He had 24 phalanges, and a phalange is a finger or a toe, if you didn't know. But he had 24 of them instead of 20 because he had 6 on each hand and foot. All of these giants or men descending from giants were Philistines. So in verse 18, there's a battle. Okay, Israel wins against a descendant of a giant. Verse 19, another battle. Israel is successful over the giant, the descendant of the giant. 20 through 22, we see the same thing. Oh, yeah, I forgot. 15 through 17. Verse 15 through 17. So, what happened in verse 15 is they went to war with the Philistines again, and David became exhausted, or they thought something happened to David. Abishai came to David's aid and defeated the Philistine. And then David's men said, "We don't want you to go to battle with us anymore because of that." So this is the first giant fight. After this, we have a giant in 18, giant in 19, and a giant from 20 to 22. Israel was successful against each adversary that presented themselves. Thank you for clicking on the video. My nose has been running consistently. I am holding my head down. I love you. Have a wonderful day.